Hello everyone, this is Thursday's English lesson and today we'll be writing descriptively about the Great Fire of London. I want you to imagine that you were really there when the Great Fire started. I wonder what it would have been like. I've got a PowerPoint to share with you so that you can see the sorts of things I'll be expecting from your writing today. Let's get started. So imagine that you lived in London during the Great Fire. Here's your townhouse. It looks a lot like Samuel Pepys's house. It's a large townhouse, slightly away from the centre, so not quite where it started, but certainly within the danger zone. Remember, 80% of the city was destroyed by the end of the disaster. So you're fast asleep on Sunday, the 2nd of September, very early in the morning. What made you wake up in the small hours? I wonder if it was a sound you heard. Maybe a bang or a crash as one of the other houses burnt down. Maybe the sound of people running in the street outside. Perhaps you smelled something. What could you smell from a fire? Perhaps you could smell the smoke. Or it could even be something you saw. Perhaps the lights flickering outside from the flames woke you up. Have a little think because it helps you set the scene. So you jump out of bed, and you race to the window, and through your window, what did you... Now we can talk about more than just what we saw. We can talk about all of our senses. Our senses are just how we interpret the world around us. So through your window, what did you see? What did you hear? What did you smell? We talked about all of those just then, about what could have woken you up. Or even, what could you feel? Perhaps the fire is already so big and strong that you can feel the heat from the flames through your window. If you use all of the senses, it helps to make a better descriptive piece of writing. There is one more, obviously, there are 5 senses. There's also taste. Taste's a little bit trickier. It's not like you'd pick up the fire and eat it, is it? However, you might be able to taste the smoke. So you might want to have a think about including taste in your own work, but these 4 are the main ones that I want you to think about today. So why do we use descriptive language then, and what do I mean by it? Descriptive language is used to help paint a picture in the reader's mind. Think about your favourite book. I bet if you close your eyes, you can almost see a picture of your favourite character or the favourite scene from the book. And that's because of the descriptive language used by the author. There are some that we've already had a look at. Adjectives. We should all know what they are. What's another word? How else could we describe adjectives? They are describing words, aren't they, adjectives? Like colours, red, blue, green, big, small. Any word that helps to describe what something is like is an adjective. There are some other describing words though. Adverbs. We have looked briefly at these. I think in phonics you looked at the ly ending on words. Adverbs are words that describe a verb. A verb, remember, is a doing word like run, talk, walk, eat. These are all doing words. The adverb describes how that thing is done. So I ate quickly or I ate slowly. Okay, so it's that word, slowly, quickly, that helps to describe how the thing is done. So adverbs, they can be very useful too. And then the third type of descriptive language we're going to be using is similes. We're going to have a look at those in a bit more detail now, because they are a little bit new for us. A simile is a comparison between 2 things using as or like to help describe them. So I've got a picture here of the flames, the flickering flames of as the city of London burnt down. And I've got the start of the sentence. The flames were as bright as what? What could we compare the flames to? What else is bright? I'm going to give you a minute to have a little think about that. And if you've got anybody who's with you today who could help, you can bounce your ideas off each other. Have a talk about it. What sort of things could we put there? The flames were as bright as a towel. Does that sound right? The flames were as bright as a torch, maybe. Have a think. Shall I show you what I put? The flames were as bright as the sun. I have compared the sun and the flames because they're both bright things. And I've used as, here and here, to compare them. The flames were as bright as the sun. I could also use the word like. So same sentence, same idea. The flames were bright like the sun. When you write yours, you don't need the ellipsis. You don't need the 3 little dots. Okay, you can just put that on the end like a normal sentence. And here we've got the smoke look. How could we describe the smoke using a simile? What is the smoke like? The smoke was as dark as... have a think. Again, if you've got someone to help you today, you can have a little chat with them about that now. If not, here's what I've put. The smoke was as dark as a thundercloud. Or, again, I could use the word like. The smoke was dark like a thundercloud. Okay, so again, I'm comparing the two. A thundercloud is dark and ominous, isn't it? And the smoke billowing from a big fire, like the Great Fire of London, would also be quite ominous and dark, wouldn't it? Okay, so those are similes. If you want a challenge today, then this is what I'd like you to try. Try comparing different elements of the fire to different things, using as or like. So, remember, use those senses. Through my window, I saw, heard, smelt, felt. Okay, try and describe those different things to help build a picture of the overall fire. What was it like to be there? In the OneDrive, you will find this PowerPoint, and the final slide here has lots and lots of pictures which are for inspiration. Okay, so you can have a look at these because they've got lots of different elements of the fire, haven't they? They've all got lots of flames. Look, every picture you can see flames in them. That's a very important part of the fire, obviously. But then you can also see the smoke in most of the pictures. Look at how it moves, what it looks like, what kind of colours you can see. But there's also lots of other things in the pictures which might help you. In quite a few of the pictures, we've got people. Look at how they're moving. Some of them have got their mouths open. Maybe they're saying something, shouting, screaming maybe. It's probably quite a frightening experience. You've also got all the people on the boats with the river. What kind of noises do you think that would make? Down here, look, we've got the fire squirts and the fire hooks. They could well have made noises that you might want to try and describe. The banging clatter as they pulled the houses down, the water squirting from the pipes. Have a little think. Use the pictures to help you to describe what you could see through your window. Right, I think it might be time to have a little go together. In the OneDrive folder, you will also find a word mat. I'll show it you in a moment, which breaks some ideas down into the senses for you. There are 4 senses on there, the ones that I've asked you to focus on. So you might want to use that to help with your spellings, or you might want to come up with some wonderful words of your own. That'd be brilliant. So I'm going to start off. I want to try and include adjectives. I want to try and put an adverb or 2 in there. And if I can, I'm going to put a simile in there too. I'm just going to move my camera around a little bit. There we go. So I'd like everybody to start the same way. You'll see on your sheets in a minute. So through my window, I'm going to choose one of those senses to start with. So I think I'm going to go with what I saw. So through my window, I saw. So what could I see? Think of all the things we've talked about. Think about those pictures. What do you think the most iconic part of the fire is going to be? Let's start with the flames, shall we? How am I going to describe them? I could just put I saw flames, but they could be little flames, or they could be really, really big flames. Try and use adventurous words too. So through my window, I saw, let's think, gigantic, because it was a great big fire, wasn't it? Gigantic. I saw gigantic flames. Lovely. I don't want to stop there though. I think I want to say what those flames were doing. So through my window, I saw gigantic flames. What do flames do? How do they move? I think I'm going to go with leaping. Through my window, I saw gigantic flames leaping. Now this might be a good place to put one of those adverbs, mightn't it, to describe my verb, leaping. How are they leaping? Leaping slowly, Leaping quietly. How about leaping quickly? That would describe how it was moving through the city, wouldn't it? Because it spread very rapidly. Oh, there's another one. I think I'm going to stick with quickly though. Through my window, I saw gigantic flames leaping quickly from house to house. Full stop. I think that's a good first sentence, isn't it? I'm just going to check it through, make sure I haven't missed any words, make sure my finger places are clear, make sure I've got my capital letter and full stop in the right place. Lovely. And already I can see I've used an adjective. I've got a nice interesting verb and I've got my adverb. So I've already got those features. I wonder if I can do a simile now. Let's think about the colour of those flames. They were as red as. So there we are, look, I've got my as and my as here. I am comparing this to something else now. So they were as red as, I need something else that's red, don't I? They were as red as berries. They're red. Some of them are, aren't they? Strawberries are. They were as red as a can of tomatoes. Can I think of anything more exciting, do you think? They were as red as a sunset. How about that? Because that's lovely reds and oranges and things, isn't it, if you get a good one? They were as red as a summer's sunset. Just to be a bit more creative, a summer's sunset. I'm going to check my work again, make sure I haven't made any mistakes, make sure I've got my full stops and capital letters. I think that's a good start. I haven't used any conjunctions yet, so I might want to try and extend some of my sentences at some point, but I'm really pleased that I've managed to get an adjective, an adverb, and a simile all in the first part of my writing. I'll leave that there now. There we go. Because I just want to show you your sheets before we stop. So I'm going to share the screens again. Here we are. So here's the word map that I was talking about. So we've got see, hear, smell, touch, and some nice words to start you off. They're not the only words you need to use. In fact, you don't need to use these at all if you don't want to, and you've got brilliant ideas of your own. It's just there if you get a little bit stuck or you need a bit of help with some spelling of those words. Okay, so you can use the word mat to help you. Now, there are 2 sheets. You don't need to do both. You can choose whichever one you like. Try and choose the one that you think suits your level best. Which one gives you a bit of a challenge without being so hard you can't do it on your own. Here's the first one. So we're using descriptive language, and can you see in each box, I've given you a picture clue. There's an ear here, what I heard, an eye, what I saw, some hands, what I felt, and a nose, what I smelt, okay? And I've given you a sentence starter for each box. Through my window, I could hear. Through my window, I could see. Through my window, I could feel. Through my window, I could smell. So you've just got to carry those sections on and add some lovely descriptive language there for me. There is a little picture on the sheet to help you too. And don't forget those pictures at the end of the PowerPoint. You could leave that open while you're working. If that one's a little bit easy and you think you're ready for a bit more of a challenge and you want to maybe try and start your sentences in different ways, then this is the sheet for you. I've given you the picture clues again, just to help remind you, and I've included taste look in case you want a challenge, but remember that one you don't need to do today. I've given you the picture as well, and then it's totally free then. As long as you start with through my window, you can choose whichever sense you want to go with first. You can add extended sentences, you can have lovely adjectives, adverbs. Let's get some similes in there as well. And let's make a really fantastic descriptive piece of writing. Okay, so those are the sheets, and that's the introduction for the lesson. Have fun writing these, and I look forward to seeing them. See you later. Bye.